one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
We get this story from the Kansas City Star. The Kansas City Council has a tough decision to make: to fund or not to fund legal settlements tied to police department lawsuits. In a city that doesn't control its own police force, I could see how this conundrum would cause angst among those elected officials who have considered the issue for weeks. Now, last week, the council tabled for the second consecutive week a vote on two separate proposals that would cover legal claims made against the Kansas City Police Department. After the latest meeting, Mayor Quentin Lucas was asked who sponsored the dueling proposals to differentiate between the two. One measure would allocate $5.9 million from the city's legal expense fund to the police department to pay legal settlements before the end of the month. The second proposal would establish an overage fund to help Kansas City PD pay off lawsuits each year. If approved, the city would provide funds, $5.9 million, that would exceed the minimum 25% threshold required by law. Said one just provides a longer process on how you engage with paying the overage long term. The other is just saying, we're going to pay off your debts this year and we'll probably come back to the same spot next year. To be completely honest, I'm not a fan of either proposal, says the reporter here. Says a better idea would be for Lucas and his fellow members of the Kansas City Board of Police Commissioners simply to offer problem officers reasonable settlements to go away, similar to the $50,000 separation agreement with former officer and repeat offender Blaine Newton. However, there's a reluctant support allocating $5.9 million this year as a one-off. In case you missed the distressing development, the police department has budget issues and needs a lifeline until May 1st of this year to settle pending legal claims. That's according to Lucas. He said, I don't have the exact number of the lawsuits, but it is several that gets you to that sort of structured settlement we've had over a series of years. Now, wholeheartedly, they believe anyone who has been brutalized, killed, or discriminated against by Kansas City police officers deserves to be compensated. Yet, they see no compelling reason to give the agency almost an additional $6 million annually to cover its officers' misconduct. Or as 1st District Councilman Nathan Willett said at the meeting, I think this is unnecessary. Traditionally, Kansas City has funded our police well over 25%. Although the ordinance establishing the coverage fund would allow City Manager Mario Vasquez to negotiate with the police commissioners on how to pay the settlements, Kansas City Police Department has to do a better job of getting rid of officers who have proven to be a liability to the department and taxpayers. In 2025, Kansas City Police Department paid out close to $14 million in legal claims, which, along with overtime, staffing, and other issues, has contributed to its budget woes. Each year, Kansas City regularly funds the PD over the required amount. The agency's overall budget for the 2026-2027 fiscal year is nearly $364 million, about a 5% increase. About $331 million, or 27.2%, will come from Kansas City's $844 million general fund, Vasquez said. In addition, the budget includes $4 million for lawsuits. Tax dollars from hardworking Kansas Cityans already provides the police department with hundreds of millions of dollars each year. Kansas City PD's next budget million will be its highest ever. The city council has done its job by adequately funding a department it has no control over. Creating an overage fund won't change that very sobering dynamic. In the best interest of all Kansas Cityans, the city council must reject any proposal that would provide more money for the police department to settle litigation claims on a yearly basis. So here's an option I got. Just fire the troubled officers, and you won't have any future trouble. That's my proposal. Just fire them, get rid of them. But it looks like the city council is stepping back and going, you know what? We just can't keep funding you. You're on your own. You're just going to have to come up with the money. Get out with a can and, you know, I mean, what else are you going to do? But that's the thing is you get these police departments and these sheriff's departments that have these troubled cops and they say, well, the city will pay. The city will pay. And they just keep letting it happen and keep letting it happen. And then when they do decide to get rid of the cop, they give them, I forget the term now. I just read it too, I think. But they give them their pay as severance pay. They give them severance. We're going to give you a $50,000 package for being a dick. Bye. Like, what a great job, you know? But that's the problem. And that's one of the problems with America in and of itself. You could be a cop, you could be a dick, you could assault people, and you can violate their civil rights, and you can discriminate against people, and you get a attaboy, keep arresting them. You know, what other job can you do that in America? God bless the police, right? What do you think?